up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda if you're new here, and today we are going to go over my plans for the growing season of 2025. Now, I know a lot of people typically do this video in January, but to me it just makes sense to do it at the beginning of spring. We're all excited about our plants, we're eager to see things start growing, and so now would be the great time to reflect on what I plan to do and accomplish during this growing season. So over the last couple of years, my houseplant collection has grown a lot. So what I really want to focus on this year is fine-tuning all of the plants that I have. You know, I want to get rid of what's not working and what I don't enjoy growing. You know, some plants just aren't for me, and that's okay. I don't need to try to have every type of genus. I also really want to enhance like my plant aesthetic by getting really cute trellises and pots and just adding more plants into my general decor throughout my home. So let's just hang out, have a really chill video, sit back, grab a drink, and let's talk about plants. So let's start by talking about my current houseplant collection. You can't really see behind me, I only have my Monstera Esqueleto, but I'm sure like many of you can relate, I have way more plants and I have expanded way more my plant collection than I initially planned. I started with a handful of plants a couple years ago, but over time I have created a variety of species that makes me feel like I'm in a jungle a lot of the time, which I love. But I did not expect when I got into houseplants that this is where I would end up. You know, and then when it comes to these plants, some of them are thriving, some of them are high maintenance, and some of them are just hanging on for dear life because I either don't know how to care for them or I don't want to care for them. And that's just something that I need to accept. It's not that I don't love my houseplants. I do. I very much enjoy them. I love this hobby, and I don't see myself completely downsizing or getting rid of them anytime soon. You know, a lot of my favorites are going to be my Hoyas just because they are less maintenance. Monsteras and philodendron are also still high up on the top for me, and ficus. But then there are some other plants within those genuses that I just don't really enjoy. Like my philodendron gloriosum, for example. So I've had this plant for 2 years and it is still so small. This plant is beyond slow. Like I don't even know the right word to use to describe the slowness of growth that this plant puts out. So for me, it's just not doing it for me anymore. Like I feel like I'm gonna have to invest so much time into that plant. And since I don't want to focus that time, it's probably best for me to just get rid of it. Even though I think a mature philodendron gloriosum is absolutely stunning and I'm so envious of people that have them, I do not want to put into the work to get it there. So I think getting rid of a smaller specimen and maybe saving up for a larger one is what I need to focus on. But in the current state, it just needs to go. And that leads me into the next point of something that I'm working on this year, is just getting rid of plants that I don't enjoy growing. It has nothing to do with the plant, it has nothing to do with the hobby. It's just specifically that certain plant, for whatever reason, we don't get along. I don't enjoy the way it grows. It doesn't enjoy the way I care for it. It's just not a good relationship. And there's no reason to keep hanging on because I purchased this plant or because I really love seeing pictures of it on Instagram or whatever it is. Like you don't need to keep every single plant just because you purchased it. It's fine to say, hey, plant, really sorry it didn't work out. I'm going to go ahead and rehome you here. Or if you're not able to find a home or you're just overwhelmed or fed up, you can also throw it in the garbage can. And the other thing with that too is I feel like sometimes I do get this certain bug of like a plant just because I see it and it is so stunning that I want to have it, that I just get like hung up on the hype. So an example of this is a philodendron silver sword. So I have a philodendron silver sword that I'm growing back because it died earlier and I'm reviving it. And I keep telling myself like, oh, if I get the chance to get a variegated silver sword, I'm gonna get it. If I see one, I'm gonna buy it. But to be completely honest, I don't even know if I want to keep my green form philodendron silver sword. So why would I buy a variegated one? So the next one may not be a focus for a lot of people, but one thing that I really want to get into this year is just accessorizing my plants. I want to find some trellises, maybe some different types of moss poles, some watering globes, just things that are really stylish and elevate the look of your plants. Now, plants to me, I love them. I have a lot of them. They are standalone pieces of art, but I think there are a lot of things that you can get to just enhance the overall look and the way that you display them in your home. And that's something that I really want to achieve this year. So, You know, my house is still in like a constant renovation, so there aren't a lot of spaces where plants are, so the majority of them are in my office. But just as we finish like our kitchen remodel and things, I do want to find a way to integrate more plants into that space with making it look visually pleasing. It's not overwhelming for my husband or for guests who don't necessarily love plants as much as I do. But you know, there's something really fun about accessorizing your plants, and I just don't think that's talked about enough. Like maybe you don't really need to buy 5 more plants in your collection. Maybe you just need to buy some new hanging planters, or you need to get a new wallpaper for your IKEA cabinet. Like there are lots of other options to enhance your plants collection with products rather than just focus on collecting more plants when you're already overwhelmed. And that's why I really want to prioritize it. In my head over the last couple of years, I've always been like, oh, I don't want to buy a pot. I want to buy a plant, but I need to buy a pot. I need a cover pot so that the clear container doesn't leak all over my brand new floating shelves. Like I need those things, and they're fun to buy. It's fun to decorate. So there's probably going to be a lot of plant styling on this channel this year, just because it's something that I'm really eager to get into. Next up for me on my plant goals for 2025 is just engaging more in like my local houseplant community. So I'm pretty late to the game on like Facebook groups because my husband and I haven't had a Facebook since, I don't even know, the last 12 years of our relationship. I only joined Facebook because the photographer I was using for my daughter only took payments through Facebook, so I had to get one. But I have found a lot of really cool plant communities, a lot of really cool book communities, and so I just wanted to like lean in more to that. You know, I don't have a lot of friends that are into plants, and so I think that it would be really fun to show up to the swaps more and to bring some of the plants that I find on Etsy. I do have, you know, some plants that are more rare, and I think it'd be cool to help share those with the community. I also think it'd be fun. There's a local plant shop that is like 10-15 minutes from me called the Jungle Room. And they do workshops all the time on like different things with plants. They have a terrarium building night. They have like a pot your own plant. So when you buy your plant, you can pot it up and like hang out with the shop owner. And I don't know, it just seems like there's such a big community that I'm not really leaning into anymore. And I know part of that is I became a mom. So I have 2 littles that they go to bed really early. So a nightlife isn't in the cards, and I work from home. So like I'm just used to being by myself. You know, I hang out with my husband and my family and a couple of friends, but I don't really go out very often, and I'm fine with that. But I would like to engage more and just, you know, it's a hobby that I really love, and I would love to meet some people that if I was like, hey, do you want to go get a coffee and go plant shopping? I would have a group text going for people that were down to buy plants at any time. The last 2 things for this year are things that I want to add to my collection, things that I've been thinking about for years, but I've just never really, I don't know, they seem kind of intimidating to me, so I've never really dove into them, but I'm ready. So the first one is I really want to build a terrarium. I live in Utah, so the air here is very dry. Now that I've moved into the basement in my plant room, it does stay around like 60% humidity in here, which I was very surprised about. But anywho, I've never really gotten into like begonias or terrarium plants just because I felt like it would be really hard for me to keep up on. I don't know, I guess. If you're putting it in a terrarium, it doesn't really matter what your ambient air humidity is, so I don't even really know why that's a problem for me. This is just one of the reasons I give myself to not do it. So yes, I really want to do a mix of begonias and maybe just like different types of moss in a terrarium. I think that would be so beautiful. I really want to get another IKEA cabinet and make it into a vivarium. I have no idea where I would put that thing, but I would love to do that with maybe anthuriums. That would be so cool. But yes, something this year is coming where I'm going to be doing a terrarium-ish type build, and I'm really, really excited. So if you have a terrarium or you have any type of begonias that I need to have, I currently do not have any begonias in my collection, please leave them down in the comments. I would love to get started on planning that out. Okay, and then last up, final thing I want to get into this year, I'm sure there will be many other things, but these are my planned themes for the year, is I really want to get some pings. Now, I don't really have fungus gnats, so I'd have to feed them, but I think that that's very interesting. Like, I would love to feed them. And I could just see my kids being so excited to, like, feed my plants. They love watering my plants now. So if I had plants that they could feed, oh my gosh, it would be so cool. And my nephew, he would love it as well. So I think that it'd be fun for like my family to do, but I also think that they're really cool. I think pings, when they're small, they're so adorable and they come in a wide variety of colors. I think if I do something with pings, I want to do it like open concept, maybe in like a large flat dish with a couple of lava pumice stones type situation. I don't know that I want to do an open dome. I feel like a flat, maybe with like pond and pumice would look really nice, and I'd be able to keep that out on my desk or keep it, I don't know. I'll find somewhere for it, obviously. We always find a home. But I think it would be so fun to get into that and just like opening the door to carnivorous plants in general and seeing like what that world is, because that's like the unique, funky, weird world of plants that I've never dipped a toe in. So this year I'm going to start out with pinks and we will see how far I go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out while we talked about my plans for 2025. I'm really excited to just simplify my collection, get rid of the plants that I don't enjoy growing or don't enjoy me. I don't like to admit that, but there are some plants that maybe we just don't get along, and that's okay. And investing and stylizing and just making everything aesthetically pleasing this year. So if that's something that you're interested in, to hang out with me while I'm getting into all of that this year, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to hear your goals for the year, so please drop them down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.